going to be a slide at the end for Q&A. But if Carl sitting next to me is going to be managing or keeping an eye on the chat box, so if there are any questions during the meeting, please post it there, and he can then bring it to me, and we can go through them in that section. Quite a lot of cool things that are going on as per usual. We tend to be a very busy bunch of people. So again, the objective is to just cover some of the basic principles about where we are in the year, what our theme is, what our focus is, and then also to look at as kind of a high-level update from the properties. And in so doing, we become a community of people who are more aligned. And in being more aligned, we're more focused, we're more aligned, and we're more powerful. So without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into the presentation. There we go. All right, so some of it is a reminder, and I do always use the opportunity to touch on some of the concepts that we've introduced at the beginning of the year, because I always find that it not only reminds myself, I do again feel that it's we kind of step into these meetings, we do onboard information, and then we may forget it. And I do not take that personally. I know that we get caught up in our own worlds, work point of view and personally. So I always use the opportunity to introduce the key topics for the year. So just a reminder of our theme within for this year. Last year we also had a theme. This year our theme is similar, but a little bit expanded upon from last year. It is look within, make better, and in so doing, unleash our talents, our hearts, and our passion. So that is our theme for the year. Look within, make better, and in so doing, unleash our talents, our hearts, and our passion. We are on this journey from good to great. And it is a concept which has actually been written about. It is a concept which has been studied and sort of used at a number of business schools. I've actually got a few copies of the book in my office. So if anybody wants a copy, please message myself or Carl, and we will get a copy to you. But it is, you can use the incredible ChatGPT to give you a summation of what it is all about, the core principles of good to great. But this is a 5-year journey for the collection, commencing this year and ending in 2030. And this is very much going to be driving our behavior as a leadership team and hopefully deeper into the business to you guys. Just again, as a reminder of our values and what are our values, what is the benefit of understanding our values is that it drives our behavior. It is there in a situation. Values are not just words on a piece of paper that are posted on the wall. It's an opportunity to use it in how you operate in the workplace. So what I mean by that is in a situation where you may need to take a decision, and there's no one else around to help you in that decision. If you apply any of our values, all or one, it'll generally land yourself in the right position. So the 4 values that we have within the collection is be aware, to respond generously, our strength, hands down, without doubt, for me, and I think with a lot of us, lies in our diversity. And then we constantly always wake up in the morning to make things better. Some days we take big steps forward in that space, some days just a millimeter, but it's the mindset of always wanting to make it better. Another sort of intentional statement that I like to remind everyone about is we are focused, we are intentional, and we are disciplined in our journey. So this is also underlying our process or our journey along going from a good business and a good community of people to a great business and a great community of people. And you will see it as I take you through the presentation or family meeting slides, that you will see that we're developing sort of mini strategies within each of the different hotels, lodges, and residences. And those mini strategies are giving us focus, intention, and can only be delivered if we are disciplined about it. So the focus is just to make sure you've got the right people thinking about it, the situation, the problem, the opportunity. We then decide on what we want to do with that focus in terms of making it better. We become intentional with setting goals, setting targets, setting tasks, and then we are disciplined in terms of actioning those, following up, making sure we all hold each other accountable to deliver on the strategy that is driving our business from good to great. I don't know if there's feedback. No, it's gone. I think someone just had a speaker on. Cool. So as always, it is polite and well mannered to invite all of our new. If anyone's got. Sorry, guys. I've got some feedback. Let me see if I can. Okay, cool. Okay, it's gone away. All right, cool. So welcome to the 17 new family members. Personally, I'm quite relieved that this graph has slowed a little bit. It's been like super aggressive. I think we've been up in the 30s because I'm sure you guys are tired of me reading a very long list of names. But we are down to, since the last time we met, 17 new family members. So to welcome by name those 17 new family members: Grant, Nesta, Carl, Zenande, Andisile, Chachelo, Cabo, Njabulo, Wanda, Nzaka, Trust, Vainant, Teboho, Taran, Randy, Misho, and Lindelwa. So welcome, guys, to the family. As I always say, every single family meeting when I introduce you guys, that your role and contribution to the collections journey needs to be reciprocated by the collection in terms of enjoyments, career development, skills development, all of those. It's again, when you work for an organization, it's equally important that the organization extracts your talent and ability to its best, but then you need to be also taken care of in terms of meeting your career goals and ambitions. I would also like to welcome Beverly, who's come in as Milkwood Manor. You'll see her maybe as a list of the attendees. She is holding the property down in Plets that we now own and are busy in the development process of getting the plans approved. I'll touch on that a little bit later, but also welcome to Beverly, who's joining us for the first time. To remind everyone again, and I know some of you may, be like, I've heard this all, Rob, but I'm gonna take you through it. It's super important to know what we stand for as an organization. Remember, the more aligned we are, the more powerful we are, the more we stand to kind of move forward on this journey from good to great. So the first one is we are passionate about creating authentic, deeply personal guest experiences that go beyond luxury, rooted in sincerity, professionalism, and local culture. We are passionate about developing and uplifting our people, investing in skills, careers, and leadership within hospitality. We are passionate about empowering and uplifting our surrounding communities, ensuring our presence positively impacts local communities and cultures. So again, just to expand a little bit on that, wherever we put a pin in the map, wherever we've got a property, we don't just worry about what's behind our walls. We understand that our contribution is material to where we operate. And it is very much about not only working with people from each of those communities, but it is about contributing to those local communities. It is just what is important to us. Another element that what we are passionate about is sustainability and conservation, operating in harmony with nature, restoring heritage, and leaving places better than we found them. We are also passionate about building an iconic African hospitality brand. that is both world-class and proudly South African. We are also passionate about achieving and sustaining market leadership in our boutique luxury category. So although there's a lot of kind of give back, authenticity, sincerity, groundedness, community involved in what we are passionate about, let us not forget or underplay that we are competitive and we are ambitious and we do want to win this kind of race in hospitality. I think we are all wanting to be regarded as one of the top African hospitality brands in our niche. So it's always important, and that is why we push ourselves so hard. That's certainly why I push myself so hard, is because we do want to be regarded as a market leader in this particular category. And then lastly, profitability with purpose. So ensuring financial success drives positive impact. All of you will know, I've used this reference before, that the profitability of the business, basically, it's like fuel in the car. It allows us to move forward. It allows us to do what we love doing, and allows us to keep growing and impacting and delivering on all of these elements which are mentioned above. So profitability is super important, and that goes to a topic linked to budgets, which I know is often quite difficult and is a bit of a kind of thorn in one side. But without those disciplines around the numerical controls of the company, we're unable to be profitable, and we're unable to look after everyone within the organization, all the communities that we impact, and we're unable to move forward. So super important. The more profitable we are, the more secure we are in our company and in our business and in our position. Cool. So those are just a reminder of the items that we've identified as what we are passionate about as a community of people. I'm going to invite Yopi to join me to talk to this slide. So again, just referencing us as an organization of people, one of my tasks is to always make sure that we are remain firmly on this journey from good to great, but that we are also always looking to stay relevant. And what I mean by that is staying relevant. I know that a lot of you would have heard the kind of training and coaching that's been happening from Yvonne Finch around becoming comfortable with change. And change is inevitable. It happens around us all the time. And it's super important for me to often make the tough decisions around breaking it down, getting the right people in the room, and then rebuilding a framework and a structure where we remain relevant and adjusted and aligned to the changing world that is around us. I mean, there is, hands down, you only have to watch the news channel for a few minutes to understand how unpredictable, how volatile, how changing this world is. And if we are, as a community of people, are going to stay relevant and keep the ability to deliver an exceptional experience, and in so doing keep our strength, stability, security, we need to be constantly in this sort of process of change. So I know that change is difficult, and I know it is unsettling. There's not a human being. We are not geared this way to constantly be in change and constantly be uncertain. But it is something that we do need to work towards being kind of comfortable engaging. Almost as soon as something hits a happy place, we need to pause it, we need to break it, we need to think hard about what's ahead of us, and then we need to rebuild it so it's in that position. And that's going to be involved with us as a business, in our departments, and in your careers with us. So don't be afraid of, one day you might be in this position, the next day you may be in a different position, because those changes, it's not about whether you're doing a good job or not. It's actually about just making sure that us as a community of people who work together are always staying relevant to what the market is needing us to do. And that's one of the key kind of responsibilities that I take for the business, is to always keep us moving and changing to make sure we stay relevant. So I'm going to hand over at this slide. It's a change, and it's a revitalizing, a restructuring of the operational processes within the business. We've been at this for like 6 to 9 months, but it's kind of reached a place where we wanted to bring it to you. So that you get a sense from Yopi in terms of why she's doing it, what are the changes that have taken place. But also, obviously we will share this presentation after this meeting. We'll also put this organogram up on your various notice boards so you can look at it. If you've got any questions around why, what, how does it work, please come through to us, because it not only shows something that I value, which is an inquisitive mind to understand how the pieces fit together, but yeah, so I'm going to stop waffling as I do, and I'm going to hand it over to Yopi to present what this new revitalized operational organogram is about.
Thanks so much, Rob. As Rob's already indicated, one of our main focuses as a business is to offer personalized and authentic guest experiences. The responsibility of MFC and the MFC operational team is to ensure that all areas of the business units are sufficiently supported to allow our teams on the property to have the time and confidence to consistently execute these experiences at a very high level. The previous framework we had for supporting this depended on the capacity of a handful of individuals to guide and support the various needs of our 640 team members on the various properties. This often led to delays in our ability to offer support and continually make it better for our guests. To better support the teams and the properties, we then spent a significant amount of time, like Rob says, redeveloping and revitalizing the support framework. We've made sure that there's a person within MFC responsible for each area of the businesses. We've separated the support into 3 sections to ensure that it's clear to everybody who they need to contact when they need support. The 3 sections being front of house, back of house, and operational support. Alan Rose is responsible for all aspects of the guest experience, being front of house. Amori, Rian, and Rochelle are his key anchors, with Amori handling F&B, Rian handling safari experience, and Rochelle assisting with all the other guest experience aspects, such as spa, Mac and Maddie, housekeeping, tree houses, etc. I'll continue to work closely with both Alan and the other new position we're adding, but I will still directly lead the back of house functions that are under the care of Yolandi, Steph, and Liz. This allows our guest-facing teams the capacity to focus on the guests. A new position that we will be adding onto the back of house teams is to bring on board a project coordinator who will be responsible for keeping us all on track and accountable for the ongoing needs with projects such as rebuilds, renovations, and other group-wide project requirements. The new position we are introducing on a more senior level is titled the National General Manager. This will directly assist and support the GMs and their HOD teams. This position will regularly engage with the third-party suppliers that assist us with specialist areas of our guest experience, like IT with elephants, to ensure that the business needs are met by these agreements. Further support is offered by the various MFC departments, such as finance and HR. With legal compliance playing a much larger role in our lives, we're onboarding the required tools to fully support the teams. The procurement department is in progress, and we're working with our marketing teams to ensure that the teams on the ground have a designed source of truth and continuous engagement to maintain brand alignment in all of our printed and brand-related materials. To wrap up before I hand back to Rob, we believe that the new support framework is going to enhance our ability to offer the personal and authentic guest experiences. By having dedicated personnel and clear support structures, we can ensure that our teams on property have the time and confidence to deliver exceptional experiences consistently.
Cool. So thanks, Yopi. So it's a lot of change. But I mean, for me, I'm already starting to feel and see the impact. And it's really around two core principles. One is finding individuals with particular talents in new responsibilities within the business. And the other big one is to create capacity, because we were just running too thin. We were not getting to everything. So, and with, it was sort of, we were creating something and then we weren't able to sustain it because we had moved on to something else before it had been embedded. So this, this again is in line with all the change that we've been through as an organization, but it's very much around building more capacity, bringing in new talent into senior positions so we can consistently elevate our guest experience, because ultimately everything we do within the business is around creating incredible guest experiences. Because if we do that and we keep focusing on that, we will always be relevant and we will always be super strong as an organization. So as I said, this is just like an insight of a couple of minutes delivered by Yopi. If they've got questions, the more questions we field on this, the better we know that you're all understanding it. So please ask away. And then again, just further to this, we will be sharing this organogram. All the general managers, all the kind of senior operational people within the business are aware of it. So ask people on the ground, people in the support office around the structure. Cool. Now we go to all the nice, the pretty stuff, certainly for us sitting in Joburg, because we don't do all the hard work. But just to touch on the key focuses across our lodges, hotels, and residences. Starting at Marataba. So Marataba, we've been operating in that reserve for approximately 8 years now, and we just feel it's reached a point, and I've seen this in my business career, that sometimes a business unit needs to have a sort of cutoff point where you break it down and you look at the entire picture, because we sort of, over time, you sometimes get sucked into the detail and you forget to look at the macro opportunity which is in front of you. So we have now, as I mentioned in the beginning, one of our key words around this year is about being intentional. So we are intentionally embarking on a very formal deep dive process of building a strategy around Marataba. We are also doing it with the landowners of Marataba. So we're developing a strategy. We're inviting in independent professional strategists around this. We are bringing the Marataba Reserve shareholders and ecological team to the table on this. And for the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be developing a strategy. And if we can align and allocate resource behind it, we'll be representing this strategy to you guys at the end of this year or early next year, which hopefully will open up a new kind of chapter in the story and in the guest experience and the development opportunity at this beautiful reserve that we've all gotten to know. Some shorter, more kind of closer or more relevant to this year upgrades that are happening. The Mac and Maddie family program, as you will know, the Safari Lodge is a key kind of anchor of the family guest experience within the collection. And we are expanding on that facility commencing, I think, in July. And we're creating a whole new, we sort of almost doubling or 3xing the outside experience. We're bringing in also a kind of an insect hotel and bees and a few sustainability practices, but we're going to create a really cool kids area to enhance the eco garden at Marataba Safari Lodge, because it remains the mainstay of our sales strategy around that lodge. We've also, to again further support our family drive and demand at Marataba or Marataba Safari Lodge, is we now allow all ages of kids to go on safari. And I know you may think, well, I mean, how many young kids do we get? We get plenty of babies, and parents nowadays are wanting to take their kids rather than leaving them with a babysitter at the lodge. We have now worked with Nadia and with Kim and the team, and we can now actually take all ages of kids out on safari, effective already a few days back, a couple of weeks back. Across to Lion Sands, the main focus, as you know, is Ivy Lodge. So very luckily, the date has not moved. We are scheduled to reopen Ivory Lodge on the 22nd of September. A few additional, which is almost, I think today is the 19th. So on Sunday, 3 months' time, which is not a long time, we will be reopening Ivory Lodge to our guests. A few additional cool experiences that we've introduced and enhanced at Ivory Lodge. As you know, in our DNA, it is always to take every single negative traumatic event and to make it better and to enhance it where we can. So we're creating an interesting, wine room is not novel, but we're creating an interesting food and deli pickle and preserve experience, which I will bring through to you in terms of images when we get there. But it's in creating a, I mean, we already know the food experience across the collection is already exceptionally good and well delivered, but we're wanting to create some interesting new spaces in the Ivory Lodge rebuild. We are also, the design of the actual lodges, each one of its buildings are going to be offering something a little bit different at the entrance. So when you arrive at the old reception area of Ivory Lodge, we're actually going to be putting in a hand washing experience right in that entrance. And the hand washing experience, if you can imagine, dates back hundreds of years where your guests who were coming in would be journeying out, far less comfortable, wouldn't be flying in with Airlink, but they are arriving. But the concept of arriving, pausing, having your hands washed, and then entering the lodge is something I know Moana does it exceptionally well, and we're wanting to take that concept. We've seen it at a few upmarket competitors of ours, so we're wanting to introduce that into the Ivory Lodge experience for guests that are arriving. The residency as well, the artist residency, as you know, art has become very much sort of starting to gain momentum within the collection. We've got that partnership with Everard Reed down in Cape Town. And while Ivory's been closed, we've had the residency at Narina Lodge. We're wanting to not only enhance that space, but when Ivory reopens, we're actually going to be operating a residency on both sides of the river. So we're going to retain it at Narina, and we're going to reintroduce it to the Ivory Lodge experience. When I was hosting some agents a couple of weeks back, and we stopped in at Narina and met the artist in residence at the time, one of the highlights at the end of my hosting at the final dinner, I said, give me 2 highlights of your last 3 days with us. A number of people mentioned just meeting the artist, the authenticity of it, meeting someone who's kind of applying their trade was just added richness to the guest experience. So that's something we're going to move towards and keep delivering on a more professional level. And then the other aspect of our business, which I'm constantly always delighted by, is our botanical experience that we have brought into the guest experience. So Jen and David and everyone in White River at More Botanicals, we've not only introduced them into our rooms and main areas at our properties, we're actually very fortunate to now have them linked into the Joburg office as well. But we've enhanced the experience down in Cape Town. We've actually created a little sort of botanical tea room down in the Cape Cadogan. And we're going to be introducing the reception area of Ivory Lodge is going to be in a sort of glass room, which is going to be filled with botanical flowers. So again, we've seen something, we've been trialing it and testing it for a number of years, and now we're wanting to elevate it to make it a sort of wow experience at the properties. I've got a little clip here on the right-hand side. This was taken from site yesterday. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of work to do for the next 3 months until we reopen. But trust me, it's all in hand. We know what we're doing. She is going to be extraordinary. But here's a little clip from Chris, who's our contractor, Chris, for those that know him down on site. But you will see he's got a bit of a personality. If you can hear what he has to say as he takes you through the site. And again, just a reminder, this was taken yesterday, so fresh from the site. But I also think it's always important for you to understand, everything that's going on. I know you don't have the privilege like I do to get to visit all the properties. So hence, I thought a video clip would be useful for you to see.
Goedemiddag and good afternoon, everyone. Quick update here from Ivory Rebuild. So the steel guys are on site, busy with the steel for the bar and lounge section. We've already cast this ribbon block slab. We've stripped the shutters at the top, and the guys have started plastering here. inside the storeroom, and the plumbers are busy with fixing and the scullery section. You can see the steel is going up like moi. We have done the shutter work for the ring beam that is going up above the dining area. Our aim is to cast this on Friday. We've got the guys busy with the brickwork, plastering happening. We've built this little low section wall that is in the kitchen, so there's going to be a gas hob behind this. You see the electricians have also started with the light points in the ceiling. Plastering happening on this side. A lot of chase work. Lekker besig hier op site. And this section has also been built up. Got the guys busy here with the retaining wall, and the chaps busy with compaction for the stormwater in the Boma area. So all in all, a very lekker productive day here on site.
Cool. So just from that side, the first area that he went to, that is the new bar lounge area. Then on the left-hand side, there's actually a fire deck area in between those two spaces. We're introducing a lot of ponds. There's going to be a lot of water mixed with the elements of fire. Bar lounge area was the first space where the steel was going up, then across to the indoor dining room. Then he went into the kitchen, and then the outside area to the Boma. So, and that doesn't even deal with the reception area that we've been speaking about and the safari arrival artist residency space. So it's always quite good. I always find it amazing how these buildings actually, we often see them as a finished product, but the amount of work and detail and thinking and planning and everything that needs to go into it. What I will do is I'll commit to giving you guys a video clip each time, and you'll see how it progresses over the next couple of months. In our next family meeting, which is in September, hopefully we're a lot further down the road than this one is. Another project which we commenced at the beginning of the year was the upgrade of the Fish Eagle residence. So having the lodge closed, we also we always look in, and although traumatic event, very difficult to kind of deal with, again, we've seized the opportunity. We unpacked, as I mentioned again in the beginning, we broke the guest experience down, and then we said, we got the right people in the room who said, how do we make Fish Eagle Residence even better than it was? So this is our absolute flagship property in terms of residence within the collection, because she is the residence associated to Ivory Lodge. And what we've decided to do is we've added not only a kitchen back of house, we've added a wine room, we added a third bedroom. For those of you who know the product, it had this kind of fairly average, I can say that now because we've changed it, fairly average gym and spa at the bottom. And we heard from the marketplace that actually families don't just travel in 4, they're often 5, 6, 7 people. Which is accommodated on one vehicle. So we now created this third bedroom. But the third bedroom, we didn't just do another bedroom like the other 2 up at the top. We actually made it more suitable to a younger clientele. So there's a television in there. The layout is different. It's a super interesting space. I actually had the privilege of staying there last week, and it is such a different experience to what you normally have at a lodge. But I think all around, it's all been intentional around creating the guest experience, which is suited to the kids that are often traveling within these exclusive use bookings. So that's the third bedroom element of it. So, and then I nearly forgot the kind of highlight space that we've created at the residence, which is their new fire deck. So that top right-hand picture there, you can see the fire deck that protrudes out of that walkway. It used to be, and again, I can admit it now because we fixed it, it used to be kind of a pathway or a deck to nowhere. Now it has a particular purpose. So you go out on the deck in the front, and you've got this beautiful fire deck area that now sits perched with views over the river. It really is extraordinary. And then again, what's not in these images is the new kitchen, which is behind the scenes. And because we found that initially when we presented the kitchen in the guest experience, it was quite intrusive. And the kind of chef who was preparing the food had to be very conscious about the guests that were in residence at the time. So here's a little video clip just to show you, again, just on what has been created. But I must admit, I think it's also the second project where we've used Sarah Ord from Sarah Ord Interiors to assist us with. And I think the team on the ground, Brett and Chris, the contractor, and Sarah have done an exceptional job in delivering the most amazing experience.
Hi everyone, I'm standing here at the new entrance of Fish Eagle Residence at Lion Sands Ivory Lodge.
So I'm just going to pause you there. Another, again, broke it down, looked at the whole experience. And suddenly we kind of looked at the arrival platform, which was completely, this is an enormously expensive product. It's gearing for a very upmarket customer. And as you know, our president of South Africa stayed there with his family. And we just suddenly looked at the entrance, said, geez, that's really underwhelming. So we've now created a sense of arrival. There's actually a little bit of a covered area, a landing for operational team to place their face cloths and all that kind of thing. It's beautifully lit in the evenings. So everything from the first contact point that the guest has with Fish Eagle all the way to the end has been upgraded and improved. Cool. So again, I applaud and appreciate everyone involved in that project. I think she's extraordinary, super excited to take her to markets. We'll probably start pushing her into the marketplace quite soon, although we're not going to be selling her because we are closed until the 22nd of September. But let's start telling the story about this new revitalized guest experience. At Lion Sands, we also, so this is a funny one for me personally, because myself and the pachyderms, that's the scientific name for elephants, have had a 23-year battle where I kind of feel that they should leave our lodge area alone. And they've got the whole of Kruger all the way to Mozambique and the Sabi Sand. They don't need to come into our particular area. We keep planting trees and they keep eating them. So I actually have a bet with Brett at the moment that this investment in the elephant-proof fencing is going to keep them out. He promises me they will, but I've known these animals for a long time. They are very smart, very strong, and I'm not so sure about it, but it is something we are going to do. So it's actually it's a technique that we have not used before, so I hope I am wrong and he is right, but it's a tentacle fencing. It's those, you may have seen it, it's got these kind of strands that dangle out. But I am hopeful that by the end of July, we will have resolved the risk that elephants, not only from my point of view, eating our plants and our trees that have made our lodge area so beautiful, especially with the influx of trees that we're going to be bringing with Ivory Lodge, but also to keep all of our guests and in particular our staff safe who are moving around the property from an operational point of view at night. So I'll let you know how that goes and who wins the bet with Brett. We are also looking at upgrading the Tinyeleti treehouse. You know, that's on the Kruger National Park side. So the tree houses remain so important to our brand, so important to our differentiating factor in the marketplace. So that's going to be going through a whole new upgrade and expansion. We are also upgrading the accommodation, or continuing with the upgrades at Hushla. In Kruger, we are hopefully going to start on the reception house quite soon. We're just waiting for approvals from Kruger, but the budget is there, the plans are there. So this is, again, a commitment to our journey to constantly be improving back of house where our operational teams live and work, as well as our front of house for our guest experience. Another upgrade we're doing is we're putting in wash bays. We're securing the diesel facilities better at the back of Tinga. We're just busy as well with a solar optimization strategy, which I think Tinga is going to be switching on during the course of today. So this is, again, as a business, we are constantly looking at both not only what the guest is seeing and doing and experiencing, but also where our teams are operating to make sure that their conditions are also benefiting from a constant moving forward and on this journey of from good to great. The Sabi Sand accommodation, I apologize to you all that I made the decision early in the year that I did not want Chris, our contractor, to be distracted because of the insane deadline of reopening Ivory Lodge. So we've kind of channeled all of our efforts now, especially now that the Fish Eagle residence upgrade is complete, putting all of his focus and resource towards making sure that we hit the 22nd of September. But as soon as that is done, finished, and snagged, then we will continue with the both staff accommodation areas to continue with the upgrades and enhancements which are going to be taking place there. Across to Monwana, which again, I had the privilege of being down there with Trini, Dirk, and Martina yesterday. They too subscribe to always making it better, always looking to improve. And an area that I know Trini is super passionate about is to link more of the Monwana experience into not only from a sustainability point of view, but also into the community. So she is using the sustainability level to partner with Global Conservation Corps to looking at youth. We know that youth unemployment is a big risk, not only in our country, but in particular that area. So she's going to be doing a lot of good work in that space. Lodge enhancements, always, it never ends. That's the other thing, is that not only needing to maintain, but we always need to, again, as I mentioned, to stay relevant, to stay sort of present in a very competitive marketplace. We need to keep reinvesting. So the fitness area, refurbishments taking place in all the different spaces, and also to expand on their family offering for their family market that stays at the Monwana residence. The other aspect is to bring in more culturally rich storytelling and immersion at the property. So I think, look, a large percentage of the 85-90% of the customers that stay at Monwana, as they do at Lion Sands, a little bit less so at Marataba, but a large percentage of them are international visitors. And if you're going to be traveling from a different country, one of your reasons for coming to South Africa is to understand a little bit about the culture, but to doing it in a fun, informative, enriching way. And that's what she's going to be bringing into the experience. As well, in terms of playing a role in conservation and the opportunity of our guests that are coming out, if we can make them kind of conservation ambassadors, when they go back to their very urbanized different countries and cities that they live in, we have an opportunity to have sort of educated them around the importance of conservation and the importance of the land that we often take for granted because we're surrounded by it all the time. So this is another project that Trini is heading, where she is looking to improve on the information exchange with all the families that are coming into Monwana. So again, very much aligned to the DNA of the collection, where it's this constant wake up in the morning. How do we make it better? How do we break down what we have and rebuild it so that we constantly stay relevant? Down to Cape Town, as I mentioned, the importance of being focused and intentional is Amori, Alan, Joe, and myself spent a whole day in the private dining room redefining the strategy of Upper Union, keeping our eye on the Eat Out Awards in terms of the feedback. It was actually incredible from the feedback that we got in terms of where we were winning and where we could see room for improvement. We took that into a strategy session. We've now got specific tasks per person, by when, all very measurable goals, which is slowly going to shift us again towards always being better than we were in the past. We've also got an incredible chef exchange program, which Amori launched at the end of last year, where we are getting chefs that are operating at our other properties to spend time in Cape Town, not only an amazing experience to be in Cape Town, understand the landscape, see the different, I mean, Cape Town is the food center of our country, the culinary center of our country. So it's an opportunity where we have a traveling chef, Carl. He goes to the property, then the senior chef, and gradually as time passes, more of this, a broader selection of chefs will have the opportunity to go down to Upper Union, see how a high quality restaurant is operating in Cape Town, but then also just open their eyes to become enriched by what is available in Cape Town, and in so doing, improve the standards across the group. The traveling chef, just as a reminder, is Carl. He is anchored in Upper Union in Cape Town, but he is spending 4 to 6 weeks at a property, improving, learning, looking for bringing new ideas. So there's this constant chef that's moving. So instead of using an external consultant who comes in, who we don't really have a close connection with, the traveling chef and Carl is going to be doing that, and with the key objective of raising the food, service, and wine experience across the group. The other aspect, as I mentioned in the beginning, one of our core pillars that we are passionate about is skills development and uplifting our people. So through the Impact Fund, which we now have in place, we are creating bursaries. We have 1 student on our bursary at Silverwood at the moment. We wanted to do 1 in the beginning just to test it and trial it and make sure that it works. And we are opening up more bursaries for January 2026. Silverwood we regard as one of the best culinary schools in the country. So this is an opportunity where someone has the talent, maybe not the financial ability, but the passion and the talent and the discipline, and they can apply for a bursary at Silverwood, which we will then facilitate. And then what the company does is it gets the benefit of that student once qualified coming back into the organization, and that keeps that transfer of skills happening throughout the company. You will know, or you may not know, but Sean Hall recently left us as general manager down in Cape Town. So so the leadership team down there all kind of pulled together and are going to be running the guest experience while we are looking for a new replacement general manager down in the Cape to head up the new, revitalized, redesigned, represented Cape Cadogan. Focus at the moment is just the hardware in terms of completing the renovation, adding the new stable rooms. We've got this new bar as well in the lounge area. We've got this new botanical tea room, as I spoke about, and all of that combining Upper Union and Cape Cadogan. Really, the focus at the moment is around refining and settling the guest experience in Cape Town. Down to, well, still staying within our hotels. So the update from the Plettenberg Bay Hotel, again, had the privilege of being there just a couple of days ago, really is the most extraordinary space. I'm so excited about what we will be able to create there. Where we are in terms of our application is that because it is situated right on the beach, right on the lagoon, it is a very environmentally sensitive place, and therefore the environmental process is quite onerous. So we should hear any time from now up until the environmentalists have until the 14th of August to respond to our application, which took us about almost a year to complete. But hopefully, if they give us the approvals that we need, we will be able to commence construction in September, and it will be about a year. It will take us about a year to build, but we will be opening for the summer season of 2026 with a 21-suite boutique hotel right on the beach. Now, here's a challenge to you guys, or an incentive, depending on how you want to look at it. We do not know her name. So she's currently the Milkwood Manor, but through this recreation, revitalization, she is going to be coming out as something very different. We are wanting to ground her in that location, so not to create this something which kind of conflicts with the beautiful landscape and why people come in there. But we are struggling to find a name for her. So even though I went there this last week and I sat there for an hour, I know Alan is going, I think, next week, and he's going to spend time there to try and capture her soul. And in capturing her soul, we can understand her name. But we are putting it out to you guys. Come up with a name for her. Send it to Carl. And if you do end up picking the name that we use for the hotel, you will get a 3-night stay when she opens, when it suits you. So it's a small kind of fun challenge. We've kind of reached writer's block on coming up with a name. I'm obviously going to keep thinking about it, but I thought, why not open it to more people within the organization, because someone out there has her name. So please send it through to Carl. And as I said, the the person who submits, and if they're more than one person, we will obviously extend this prize to everyone who picks the name that we eventually land on. So I'm going to leave that in your very capable hands. From our field guiding team, Jason Gibson, who operates as part of the Lion Sand Sabi Sand field guiding team. He was courageous and talented enough to put his hand up for the Safari Guide of the Year competition. It is currently on at the moment. So take a moment, send him a positive vibe. I would be terrified if I had to be tested on the knowledge that I'm meant to possess and the job that I do. Jason was brave enough to do it. It's down in the Eastern Cape, and he actually did quite a lot of time at Kwandwe before he joined us at Lion Sand. So I feel that he's got a bit of an edge on knowing that landscape. But success or not, I think he is going to do exceptionally well. But we should know, I think, on Sunday when they announce the results from the field guide competition. But good luck to Jason while he is busy down there.
Safari Guide of the Year.
Here's the video.
It means quite a lot. It's a very big honor. I feel like working in the industry for a while now, it's taken time to get to the point where I was confident to move into the situation where I'd want to do it, and finally had the opportunity to do it. And being picked as a finalist is such a big honor. I'm very excited for all the memories that are going to be made and the experiences, and also learning from everybody. I feel like there's so much experience there, centuries of experience of people there. It's going to be a real honor to be there, and just a whole bunch of fun.
Cool. So we'll let you know. Watch the WhatsApp groups. We'll let you know how he goes. But I just think it's like epic that he's brave enough to go out there and be tested amongst the best guides in South Africa. An update from the support office, just to go through a few highlights. Again, as I mentioned, our Good to Great. I've got a couple of books, so please reach out if you want them. One of the core themes within the journey of Good to Great is ensuring we not only set our goals, but we hold each other accountable to deliver on them. Believe it or not, this one does not go away. The Kruger concessions. You may remember that we submitted on the 6th of Jan. Third week of March, Kruger withdrew the bidding process. They have told us now that they are going to re-advertise at the end of June. If you have a look at your computer or your watch, you'll see it's the 19th of June today. So they don't have too many days to advertise. It isn't out at the moment, but we're thinking either tomorrow or next week. But we are ready to go, and we will restart the process of what we have already done once. So that is very much one of our key focuses to deliver, not only for us as a collection, but to also ensure that there is continuity and security for our family at Lion Sands Kruger. Procurement logistics. So this is a new department. Again, on this journey of Good to Great, we want to look at our business. We want to find areas, problems that we can solve. So we are starting up a procurement and logistics department in the Joburg support office in July. Impact fund. So impact fund is around accruing funds for specific projects. The 4 pillars is health and well-being, community development, skills development, and sustainability. So those are our core pillars within the impact fund. We've been going through the financial process of building a financial structure which is super kind of tight and disciplined. And we are now activating a lot of these projects. So we're doing, as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the presentation, we're doing solar. We're optimizing already through this impact fund. We're optimizing the solar investments that we've already made. We are also looking at expanding on our bursary program at the Field Guide College. I know we've got, I think, 5 bursaries coming in the July intake, which is super cool. It's an opportunity for the right individuals to transform their careers and move into a guiding space. So that's also going to be a key focus of the Impact Fund. Mistral Medical, Dr. Matt and his other doctors, most of you will know about the service that he already has delivered to the business over the past 5 years. We are now going to expand on his offering. We're going to expand on the testing that he does. We're actually going to expand the product offering to include that the Impact Fund covers the medical costs of those individuals that are identified needing medical support. So, and on this particular point, I'm actually going to be calling a special meeting in the next 10 days to 2 weeks, where those of you interested, I'll be able to update you on the expanded offering. I'll have Dr. Matt joining me on the presentation, but this is the key kind of activation that is coming from the Impact Fund. I know that their next visit is scheduled for the 11th of July at Lion Sands Sabi Sand. So we're wanting to launch this to everyone so they're aware of it. And then that expanded offering will be offered to the staff when those doctors are on site on the 11th of July. Another project that Kyle is very busy with is we are rebuilding and relaunching, or rebuilding and then launching our website in November. So a huge amount of work into this, believe it or not. We want to be more relevant. We want to be more kind of tech savvy. We're using AI. Those of you, I'm sure, are already using AI on a fairly regular basis. We're wanting to build that into our new website so that we stay relevant and we are best of breed in this particular space. Another big thing, which I am again going to ask your attention by calling a very special family meeting around our brand revitalization. So we are rebranding, not radically, but there is an element of change within our branding. And the reason we're doing this is you have to keep changing to stay relevant, to stay powerful in the marketplace. So the rebrand will actually be going into the marketplace in the 1st of September. But I think I've got a meeting already in Kyle and My's diary for the 3rd week of July, where we will be bringing just us, because we want to make sure that you guys hear it first in terms of our name. What is changing? Are we bringing in a color? So quite an interesting creative fun space that we've been working at for, again, the last 6 to 9 months around rebranding, refreshing the More Family Collection brand so that it serves our business and it serves our guest more powerfully. So that brings me to the end of the presentation, and I think I've got about 3 minutes to go. Q&A, I'm going to ask Kyle if there was anything in the chat box. Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, if there are no questions, you can unmute, you can ask a question. We still have 3 minutes. And I'm not going to sit in awkward silence because that's not my style. So 5, 4, 3. Anyone? Anyone? Crickets. Okay, cool. Liz. Nice. Okay. Liz, you got a question?
Sorry, there was a button clicked by accident. Sorry.
Oh, let down. Jeez, girl. Okay, anyway, guys, but I'm always available. I try to get around as much as possible. If there's any points of clarity that you have, please ask, because it's important. This stuff, I don't just take up an hour of your time just because I want to go through this. It is relevant, as I say, by understanding what we're doing as a business, brings alignment, and through alignment, we're so much more efficient. We kind of have greater awareness of each other, and we can actually get to see like, wow, man, my job that may be in a particular area of the business that you may perceive that it doesn't influence the other areas. Trust me, every single person in this business matters. We cannot do all of the stuff that we do unless everyone is doing what they are appointed to do. So, yeah, so massively appreciative of that, but please reach out if you've got any clarifying questions. The next family meeting, unless Kyle moves it again because he didn't get the presentation ready, hopefully not, will be Spring Day on the 1st of September. But I am going to be bringing you together for 2 more special family meetings. One is, as I've already said, Mistral Medical expanded offering. I think it's super cool, and I think it speaks to such an important thing about who we are in terms of being committed to everyone's health. If we're healthier, we're not only going to be better at home, but we're going to be better in the workplace, better with our guests. So that's the sort of corporate strategy behind it, but I'm going to be bringing that to you. And then also on the rebranding of More Family Collection, that I also want to bring you in because the name is super personal. I'm excited about the changes that we are making and tweaking, but I do want to do that in a dedicated meeting. So please try and attend when you see them coming out. The next family meeting, 1st September, but there will be 2 special families, one Mistral Medical and 2 will be around the More Family Collection rebranding. Both of those meetings will be happening in the next kind of 2 to 4 weeks. Otherwise, cool. Thanks for your hour. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and we'll see you somewhere.